Have you ever wondered what really happens when you close your eyes at night and drift into sleep? We assume our dogs curl up quietly and snooze until morning, but the truth is far more fascinating and even a little mysterious. While we rest, our dogs live an entire secret life filled with instincts, rituals, and behaviors that most of us never see. Tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the 5 secret things your dog does every night while you sleep. Some of them will surprise you, some may even shock you, but all of them will make you appreciate your 4-legged friend in a whole new way. The first secret is guarding. Even when your dog appears to be sound asleep, part of their brain remains on alert. This comes from their ancestry as pack animals, where survival meant taking turns watching over the group. Modern domestic dogs have carried that instinct into our homes. They monitor sounds, smells, and movements during the night. That's why your dog sometimes growls or barks at what seems like nothing, because to them, it's something. A car door slamming, a branch tapping the window, or even the faint scent of an animal outside can trigger their protective instincts. While you're dreaming, your dog may be standing guard, ensuring nothing disturbs the safety of the pack. It's a responsibility they take seriously and often silently, as their ears twitch and nose works overtime in the darkness. The second secret is that dogs dream, sometimes more vividly than we do. Have you ever noticed your dog twitching, whimpering, or even moving their legs like they're running while asleep? That's because dogs, like humans, experience REM sleep, the stage where dreams happen. Scientists have found that dogs often dream about their daily activities, chasing a ball, playing with you, exploring the yard, or interacting with other dogs. Puppies dream more frequently because they're processing new experiences at a rapid pace, while older dogs may have longer, deeper dreams. But what's truly fascinating is that some experts believe dogs dream about their owners too. That means when you're asleep, your dog may be dreaming of playing fetch with you, walking by your side, or curling up in your arms. In other words, even while unconscious, you are the center of their world. The third secret is one many people don't realize. Your dog is keeping track of your scent. Dogs are obsessed with smell. It's their primary way of understanding the world. While you're asleep, your dog may wander around the house, sniffing places you've been, your clothes, or even the bed itself. Your scent is like an anchor to them, a reminder of safety and belonging. Some dogs will drag your socks, shoes, or even shirts into their sleeping area during the night. They aren't being mischievous. They're surrounding themselves with your essence. This behavior is deeply comforting to them, almost like a child hugging a stuffed toy. And if you've ever woken up to find one of your belongings missing, it may be because your dog secretly collected it while you slept, just to feel closer to you. The fourth secret is something both adorable and a little haunting. Many dogs conduct nightly patrols. This goes back to their instinct to secure their territory. While you're resting, your dog may quietly pace the house, sniff doors, check windows, or circle the yard if they have access to it. It's their way of making sure everything is in order and no intruders, human or animal, are near. To us, the house feels still and safe at night, but to your dog, it's alive with smells, distant noises, and subtle changes. They're attuned to every creak and shadow, and their patrol is a way of making sure their pack, that means you, is protected. Even small dogs, who couldn't physically fight off a threat, take on this role with surprising seriousness. For them, it's not about size or strength, it's about duty. And finally, the fifth secret is emotional processing. Just as humans use sleep to recharge emotionally and mentally, dogs do the same. While you rest, your dog's brain replays the events of the day, storing memories and making sense of emotions. If you played with them, trained them, or even scolded them, those moments get replayed and reinforced in their sleep. This is why consistency in training is so important. Your dog isn't just learning when they're awake, they're practicing it in their dreams. Emotional processing also explains why dogs sometimes whimper or bark softly in their sleep. They may be reliving moments of excitement, fear, or happiness. In their own way, dogs are dealing with their feelings, just like we do. But the secrets don't end there. Some dogs sneak into different sleeping spots throughout the night. You may put them in their bed at first, but by morning, they're curled up beside you. This shifting isn't random. It's strategic. Dogs change locations depending on temperature, comfort, and most importantly, proximity to you. They may start out in their bed but move closer when they sense you're in a deep sleep, almost like they're drawn back to your side. For dogs, being near you is the ultimate source of comfort. Others practice something known as watchful rest. Even when they appear deeply asleep, one ear is tuned to you. If you toss, turn, or get out of bed, they'll often stir immediately. They live in a delicate balance between rest and awareness, always ready to respond to your movements. This is why many people notice their dogs, follow them to the bathroom at night, or shift positions when they wake up suddenly. To your dog, you are their world, and they refuse to let you out of their sight, even in the dead of night. What's even more extraordinary is how attuned dogs are to human emotions while we sleep. Studies have shown that dogs can detect changes in our breathing, heartbeat, and even scent that reveal when we're stressed, anxious, or having nightmares. There are countless stories of dogs nudging their owners awake during bad dreams or lying closer when they sense anxiety. Some service dogs are trained to do this deliberately, but many family pets do it instinctively. To them, protecting you isn't just about the outside world, it's about your inner world too. Think about this. While you're lying vulnerable, in your deepest sleep, your dog is awake enough to guard, dream, patrol, and comfort. It's almost as if they live two lives, one with you during the day and one as your silent guardian through the night. And though we rarely notice these secret activities, they are constant reminders of the depth of your dog's loyalty. So the next time you see your dog curled up peacefully on the rug or stretched across your bed, remember that behind those closed eyes lies a creature who is part guardian, part dreamer, part therapist, and part best friend. They may never tell you about their nightly rituals, but if you pay attention, the twitch of a paw, the sudden growl in the dark, the sock missing from your laundry, you'll see the clues. And maybe that's the real secret. Your dog doesn't stop loving you when you fall asleep. If anything, their devotion deepens. While you rest, they remain awake, watching, dreaming, and protecting until the morning light brings another day together. But as intriguing as these nightly secrets are, there's even more happening in the quiet darkness of your home than most dog owners ever imagine. You see, dogs live in a world where senses operate on a completely different frequency. While we rely on vision, shutting it down when we sleep, dogs' primary tools, their nose and ears, never truly turn off. This is why the nighttime hours open up an entire hidden realm of behavior. Take, for example, the way dogs regulate their comfort while you're sleeping. Unlike humans, who settle under blankets and remain still for long stretches, dogs constantly adjust their positions throughout the night. They may curl up tightly in a ball to conserve heat, then stretch out fully when they feel too warm. Some dogs burrow beneath blankets, while others shift from one room to another. Every movement is carefully calculated to balance temperature, comfort, and awareness of your location. It's a dance of instinct and adaptation, and often you'll wake up to find your dog in a completely different position or spot than where they began. Another hidden ritual is vocalization. If you've ever heard your dog bark softly, growl faintly, or whimper in their sleep, you are witnessing a moment of unconscious communication. Dogs don't just vocalize during dreams. They sometimes release pent-up energy or emotions this way. Scientists believe these small sounds help them process experiences, almost like us talking in our sleep. What's more astonishing is that in multi-dog households, one dog's nocturnal noises can trigger responses in another. While you're unaware, your pets may be engaging in a subtle nighttime dialogue across the house. There's also the ritual of midnight grooming. Dogs lick their paws, scratch behind their ears, or nibble at their fur during the night. While part of this is hygiene, it's also a calming mechanism. Grooming releases endorphins that soothe anxiety and help them settle back into sleep. For anxious dogs, grooming can even become a nightly ritual that grounds them emotionally. Owners often mistake this for restlessness, but in truth, it's self-care in its most instinctive form. And then comes something most dog owners never suspect: monitoring you. Yes, while you sleep, your dog may rise quietly, pad over to your bed, and simply watch you. They'll listen to your breathing, study your movements, and even sniff the air around you. To us, it sounds eerie, but to them, it's an act of profound loyalty. They want to be sure you're safe, breathing normally, and undisturbed. Some owners with sleep disorders have reported their dogs waking them at critical moments, nudging them during sleep apnea episodes or restlessly stirring when their human's breathing changes. These accounts are more than anecdotal. Science has begun studying the way dogs pick up on subtle changes in our physiology at night. Another fascinating behavior is the energy reset. Just like we sometimes wake briefly to turn over or get comfortable, dogs often stir multiple times through the night. But here's the difference. Dogs use these brief awakenings to scan their environment. They'll lift their head, sniff the air, and listen intently before settling down again. It's as if they're hitting a reset button on their awareness, reconfirming that all is well before drifting back into slumber. You could call it micro-guard duty, woven seamlessly into their rest. And if you've ever found your dog at the foot of the bed when you woke up, it wasn't accidental. The placement is deliberate. Dogs that sleep at your feet or by the bedroom door are positioning themselves strategically. They're not just resting, they're creating a barrier between you and the outside world. This position gives them the advantage of detecting threats first, essentially volunteering as the family's night watch. Let's not forget about the spiritual connection many dog owners swear by. Some believe dogs sense things we cannot: energies, moods, even presences. Countless stories describe dogs staring into empty hallways, growling at shadows, or refusing to enter certain spaces during the night. While skeptics argue it's just heightened senses picking up distant sounds or scents, many dog lovers are convinced their pets have a sixth sense. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, one fact remains clear. Dogs perceive the night in ways that forever remain out of reach for us. Another ritual many dogs engage in is the nightly stretch and sigh. Have you ever noticed your dog rise suddenly in the middle of the night, stretch their body long and slow, and then collapse with a dramatic exhale? This is part physical release, part emotional reset. Stretching loosens their muscles and keeps their joints flexible, while the sigh signals relaxation. It's their way of hitting pause in the middle of their nocturnal activities, almost like yoga for the canine soul. And perhaps the most touching of all secret behaviors is quiet companionship. Some dogs, instead of sleeping soundly, spend portions of the night lying awake beside their humans. They don't need to play, bark, or move. They simply exist near you, soaking in your presence. This behavior is deeply rooted in the pack mentality, where members often rest together for safety and bonding. To your dog, lying quietly by your side, even if you're unaware, is a profound act of love. Imagine this. While you're dreaming, your dog may have just patrolled the living room, sniffed your shoes for reassurance, checked the doors, stretched out under the moonlight streaming through a window, and then returned to curl beside you. All of this happens while you remain blissfully unaware. And yet, in your dog's mind, it's not just activity, it's service. Every sniff, every twitch, every subtle movement is part of their role as protector, companion, and family. When we pull back the curtain on these hidden behaviors, what we see is extraordinary. Dogs are not passive sleepers. They are active guardians, emotional processors, dreamers, and companions all at once. Their nights are filled with purpose, even if it seems like nothing more than quiet breathing in the dark. And maybe that's the greatest secret of all. Dogs don't separate their love for us into daytime and nighttime. It is constant, unwavering, woven into every heartbeat and breath they take. While we drift into unconsciousness, they continue to live out their devotion in ways both practical and poetic. So the next time you wake up and find your dog sprawled beside you, or hear them sigh in the dark, take a moment to appreciate the silent world they inhabit on your behalf. Because even when the world goes quiet, their love, loyalty, and protection never rest. And if you found this glimpse into your dog's hidden nighttime life fascinating, be sure to like this video, share it with other dog lovers, and subscribe. There's something kind of magical about sharing your bed with a cat, the way they stretch out beside you, the soft sound of their purring in the quiet of the night, that little warm body nestled into the crook of your knees, or pressed right up against your chest. But here's the thing, when a cat chooses to sleep in your bed, it's not just a coincidence or some random decision made on a whim. Oh no, it's far more meaningful than that. See, cats aren't just climbing into your bed because it's soft or warm, although those are definitely bonuses. They're trying to tell you something, sometimes several things, and the more you pay attention to their habits, the more you'll realize they're sending clear messages through these nightly cuddles. For starters, cats are big on territory. They might be small, but their sense of ownership is gigantic. And your bed, that's prime real estate. It's not just a soft surface to them, it's a space filled with your scent, your energy, and your presence. And that makes it incredibly valuable in a cat's world. When they curl up beside you or sprawl out like royalty, what they're really saying is, this is mine now. Those rhythmic little paw presses into the blanket, that's them marking the territory with scent glands in their paws. It might look like they're just needing to get comfy, but what they're really doing is laying claim to what they see as their space. Your space has become their space, and they're completely content with that arrangement. But there's another layer to it. Yes, they're claiming the bed, but in doing so, they're also claiming you. In the animal kingdom, sharing a sleeping space is a huge sign of trust and connection. So when your cat chooses to sleep beside you, it's their way of saying, I feel safe with you. They're not just being territorial, they're being loyal. They're showing you that you're part of their inner circle, and that's a big deal for a creature as naturally independent and cautious as a cat. It's not always easy to earn that kind of trust. Cats don't just give it away. It takes time, patience, and consistency. Every night they curl up beside you is a silent thank you for making them feel secure in a world that at times can be unpredictable. They might not jump into your arms the moment you walk through the door, but when they choose your pillow over their own bed, they're speaking from the heart. They're saying, so this is where I feel most at peace. Even the little things matter, like when they wait for you to brush your teeth before hopping into bed, or the way they guard the foot of the bed like it's their job. Maybe they choose to sleep facing the door, keeping watch. Maybe they curl up behind your knees in a spot that keeps them close but out of the way. Every choice is intentional, every position holds meaning, and while they may move around throughout the night, circling, shifting, stretching, it's all part of how they settle into your shared space, a space they no longer see as yours alone, but as something mutual, a safe zone, a comfort zone, a love zone. Over time, you'll start to realize just how much their nighttime behavior mirrors their trust in you. If they didn't feel safe, they wouldn't be there. If they didn't love you, they wouldn't stay. So even on nights when they leave hair all over your sheets or hog more of the bed than seems physically possible for a creature their size, just know it's not a nuisance. It's affection in its purest form, because when a cat gives you their sleep, they're giving you something sacred, not just rest, but vulnerability, not just presence, but partnership. And whether they stretch out like a king or curl into a little fur ball by your side, their message is loud and clear. This is more than comfort. This is home with you. What's especially interesting is that sleeping with you often becomes a full-on ritual for them. Pay attention to the evening routine. As the day winds down, maybe you'll notice your cat trailing behind you, slipping into the bedroom just as you do, hopping onto the bed like they've been waiting for this moment all day. They might even give you a soft meow, a gentle nudge, or just settle in without a sound, but every action has purpose. They're not just following for fun, they're part of the routine now, and they love it. Now, think about what it really means for a cat to relax next to someone. In the wild, sleep is the most vulnerable state an animal can be in. That's when they're least alert, least able to defend themselves. So instinctively, cats stay hyper-aware even when resting. But when they're with someone they truly trust, that vigilance eases up. If your cat is curled up beside you, dozing off completely, that's them letting their guard down in the deepest way possible. If they sleep with their back to you, that's even more telling. That means they feel safe enough to turn away and still trust that they're protected. And speaking of curling up, let's talk about the warmth factor. It's no secret that cats love warmth. Whether it's a sunbeam on the carpet, the top of a radiator, or the cozy pile of fresh laundry, if it's warm, a cat will find it. So naturally, your bed, especially when you're in it, is like a magnet. With a body temperature a little higher than ours, they're always chasing heat. And nothing says warmth quite like your legs under a blanket or the crook of your arm, but there's more to it than just chasing heat. That warmth they seek, it's not just physical, it's emotional too. When they curl into your side, it's not only to soak up body heat, it's to absorb that sense of safety they've come to associate with you. They want to be close to your heartbeat, your breathing, the steady rhythm of your presence. It calms them more than you know. Even in the summer, when the weather's warmer and they don't have to snuggle for heat, many still choose to be right beside you. That tells you everything. It's not just about staying toasty, it's about staying connected. Your presence is the comfort zone and the warmth is just a bonus. Cats are clever. They know where to go for the coziest spots in the house. But when push comes to shove, the warmth of their human always wins. Even when they drift off at the foot of the bed or wedge themselves between your knees, they're strategically picking the spots that keep them near your energy. You're like a living, breathing heating pad, but better, because you also offer companionship. Watch how they stretch just enough to stay in contact. Maybe just one paw touches you, or their tail rests lightly across your foot. That contact, combined with your warmth, creates the perfect environment for a restful sleep. It's not just comfort, it's contentment. There's also something deeply instinctual about it. In the wild, warmth meant survival. Curling up with littermates was how kittens stayed alive in colder nights. That instinct doesn't just disappear with domestication. They may be sleeping in a plush apartment now, but those ancient habits remain hardwired, and when they curl into you, they're tapping into that primal memory of shared heat and safety. Some cats even burrow under the covers, wrapping themselves in a blanket cocoon. It might look dramatic, but it's the ultimate compliment. They're saying they feel safe enough to fully immerse themselves in that shared space. And let's face it, few things are more adorable than a little cat head poking out from beneath the covers, blinking sleepily in the dark. So the next time you feel that warm little body press up against you, know this: it's not just about temperature, it's about the trust that comes with that closeness, the comfort, the unspoken connection. You're more than just a source of heat, you're a source of peace. But don't mistake this for just a physical thing. Sure, they're keeping warm, but they're also keeping close. That need for warmth is tied to their social instincts too. In the wild, cats would sleep in groups to share body heat and protection. Domestic cats, while more independent, still carry those instincts. So when they snuggle up to you, they're not just getting cozy, they're seeking that same sense of community. You're their family now, and curling up beside you is their version of sleeping in the safety of the pride. And for the cats who aren't always big cuddlers during the day, nighttime can be their moment to really show affection. And cats have this funny way of keeping their emotions low-key. They're not always in your face with love, the way dogs might be, but that doesn't mean they aren't affectionate. They just show it in subtler ways. A soft paw resting on your hand, a gentle press of their head into your shoulder, that steady, soothing purr. These little gestures might seem small, but in cat language, they're declarations of love. And then there's the exploring. Cats are born curious. Everything is an opportunity to investigate, analyze, and learn. So sometimes sleeping next to you is part of their exploratory behavior. They're not just trying to be close, they're figuring things out. That strange new pillow, they want to test it. The sound of your breathing, they're listening. Your heartbeat, it's comforting. They're mapping their environment constantly, even while they rest. And your bed, with its mixture of familiarity and unpredictability, is the perfect place to do that. But there's also something else at play. Attention. Cats are masters at getting it. And if they feel like they didn't get enough from you during the day, bedtime is the perfect time to demand it. By stretching out on your legs, flopping down across your chest, or even just occupying that one spot you were just about to roll over to, they're ensuring you don't forget about them. It's a tactic, yes, but it's also kind of endearing. It means they crave connection and they figured out that nighttime is the best time to make it happen. And here's the thing, cats might have a reputation for being aloof, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The bond they form with their humans is deep and genuine when they choose to sleep beside you, especially when there are countless other places they could go. It means something. It means they feel safe. It means they feel loved. And it means they love you right back. They might not say it out loud, but their presence speaks volumes. Every night spent curled up together strengthens that bond a little more. It becomes part of their emotional routine just as much as it becomes part of yours. And even if they change sleeping spots now and then, cats do love variety. The fact that they come back to your bed again and again shows just how meaningful it is to them. There's a kind of quiet, unspoken communication happening every night when your cat climbs into bed beside you. It's in the way they stretch out, the way they blink slowly, the way they tuck themselves into your side like they were always meant to be there. These aren't just habits. They're expressions of comfort, trust, and deep emotional connection. So the next time you feel that gentle weight at the foot of your bed or hear the faint sound of purring in the darkness, remember, it's not just about warmth or territory or curiosity. It's about trust. It's about affection. It's about belonging. Your cat isn't just sleeping with you. They're choosing you night after night. Without saying a word, they're telling you, this is home. If this helped you understand your furry, every dog seems to have that one person they cling to just a little tighter, follow a little closer, and stare at like they're the most important thing in the entire universe. You might feed them, walk them, play with them, and take care of them. But somehow, they'll still choose one person as their absolute number one. And while most people assume dogs imprint on whoever feeds them the most, well, it's way more complicated, way more scientific, and honestly, way more heart-melting than that. Because the truth behind how dogs choose their favorite person goes deep into psychology, biology, scent memory, social bonding, and even early developmental stages. Once you understand how it works, you'll realize something. If a dog chooses you, it's not random. It's because you've become a huge, meaningful part of their world in a way that's almost impossible for humans to fully understand. Dogs experience the world through scent far more than visuals, and when they bond with someone, that person's smell becomes comforting, familiar, and emotionally stabilizing. Your scent literally releases oxytocin in their brain, the love hormone, the same chemical that fires when a baby recognizes its mother. Dogs can even pick up microscopic changes in your sweat, hormones, and emotions. If you come home tired, angry, sad, or excited, your dog can smell the chemical signature of your mood before you say a single word, and over time, they begin to associate those emotional patterns with you specifically. They can predict your behavior, learn your routines, and understand your unique energy. So when they choose you, it's because your presence creates a consistent emotional environment that makes them feel safe. Even your scent becomes a neurological anchor that their brain associates with comfort, stability, and trust. Another massive part of how dogs choose their favorite person starts during their early socialization window from about 3 to 16 weeks old. During this period, dogs form extremely strong attachments to whoever spends the most positive, meaningful time with them. If someone gently trained them, played with them, introduced them to new environments, or gave them confidence during this window, that person becomes incredibly important in their long-term emotional wiring. But even if you weren't around during those early weeks, you can still become the chosen one later through consistent positive associations. Dogs don't choose their favorite person based on dominance or authority. They choose based on emotional history, trust, and shared experiences. If you take the time to understand their signals, reward their confidence, respect their boundaries, and build routines with them, you literally teach their brain to pair you with everything good in their life. But here's the surprising part. Dogs also choose their favorite person based on personality compatibility. Researchers have found that dogs gravitate towards humans whose energy matches their own emotional style. A shy, anxious dog may bond more deeply with someone who is gentle and calm, while a high-energy, playful dog might choose the person who runs around with them, makes them laugh, or turns everyday moments into adventures. Dogs are emotionally intelligent enough to read the entire vibe of a person, and they choose the one who best aligns with what makes them feel safe, understood, and happy. They're not looking for the strongest person or the one who gives the most treats. They're looking for the person who makes their nervous system relax. Eye contact is also a huge factor. When a dog looks into your eyes, they aren't trying to dominate you. They're creating a powerful emotional bond. When both of you hold eye contact, oxytocin floods both brains at the same time. It's the exact same neurochemical feedback loop that helps human mothers bond with their babies. This is why some dogs lie at your feet, stare at you quietly from across the room, or follow you from place to place. You're not just their companion, you're their emotional anchor. And the more gentle, warm, and open your interactions are, the more likely a dog is to choose you as their trusted person. There's also something deeply emotional happening beneath the surface. Dogs mirror the emotional energy of the person they bond with most strongly. If you're calm, they relax around you. If you're stressed, they try to comfort you. If you're excited, they become excited too. This synchronization of emotion creates a bond very similar to how humans connect in close relationships. Psychologists even call dogs attachment figures, porosophories, because they show behaviors similar to what human children show toward a parent. Following them, checking for them, seeking them out when frightened, and celebrating intensely when they return. Your emotional warmth also plays a massive role. Dogs run toward positive, encouraging, emotionally open people. If you talk to them in a soft, happy tone, reward them, celebrate their little accomplishments, and offer comfort during stress, you're essentially imprinting yourself onto their emotional memory. Dogs carry emotional snapshots throughout their lives, and your voice, your touch, your reactions all become part of their internal emotional map. If you're the one who makes them feel capable and loved, they choose you. There's also the factor of shared experiences. Dogs also form deep attachments based on who meets their emotional needs. Some dogs need lots of physical affection, others need space. Some need stimulation and challenges, others need quiet companionship. When a human matches those needs naturally, effortlessly, without forcing anything, the dog forms a powerful, lasting preference for them. It's not about rights or ownership, it's about emotional fulfillment. Another major factor is the way you touch them. Touch is a huge part of canine bonding. The way you pet them, slow, gentle strokes, calm hand movements, scratching their favorite spots, communicates safety and love. Dogs remember touch on a deep neurological level, and the emotional memory of positive touch creates a strong preference for the person who gives it in the right way. Even the sound of your footsteps matters. Dogs can identify you by the rhythm of your walk from far away. They can recognize your breathing pattern, your laugh, your voice from across a crowded room. All of these signals become woven into their emotional world. And over time, the person they recognize most deeply becomes their favorite. But here's something even more surprising. Dogs often choose the person whose emotions they feel responsible for. If they sense you're anxious, lonely, or sad, they may attach to you more strongly because they feel an instinctive desire to comfort you. Dogs evolved alongside humans for tens of thousands of years, and part of that evolution included learning to read human emotional cues and respond to them. Your vulnerability can actually strengthen your dog's love for you. And some dogs choose their favorite person simply because of chemistry. Yes, real biological chemistry. Just like humans feel drawn to certain people, dogs feel naturally connected to certain humans. There's something in your scent, your voice frequency, your energy, or even your movements that resonates with their instincts. It's an emotional alignment that can't be forced or explained. It just happens. And the more you look at how dogs behave, the more you realize something else. Dogs don't choose their favorite person based on perfection. They choose based on presence. They don't care if you're having a rough week, if your hair is messy, if you forgot something, or if you're stressed. Like, they care about whether you show up for them, whether you reach down to scratch behind their ears even when you're tired, whether you smile when they greet you at the door, whether you take the extra moment to acknowledge them when they bring you their toy or nudge your leg for attention. In a human world that constantly tells us we need to be more, do more, or impress more, dogs remind us that sometimes being loved is as simple as being consistent, kind, and emotionally available. Dogs have an almost magical ability to read micro-expressions, tiny muscle movements in your face that humans can't consciously detect. They see the subtle tension when you're worried, the softening when you're grateful, the quick smile when they do something silly. They mirror what they think you need. If you're sad, they lie close. If you're excited, they dance around you. If you're tired, they settle beside you. And because they learn your emotional patterns so closely, they gravitate toward the person whose emotional rhythm they can predict the best. Predictability is safety. When your dog knows how you feel before you speak, you become their emotional compass. There's also the physical bonding that happens during routines that you might not even notice. The way you clip their leash with the same gentle motion every morning, the way your hands move when you fill their bowl, the way you kneel down and tie your shoes while they wait impatiently, tail wagging. These tiny rituals create familiarity, and familiarity becomes comfort. Dogs create emotional blueprints of their world, and these rituals become the threads that weave you deeply into their daily life. You're not just a person, they memorize you like a pattern. And this bond is strengthened even more through your reactions. Every time you protect them from something scary, even something small, they imprint that moment. When you pull them closer during fireworks, when you reassure them during thunderstorms, when you calmly guide them past another barking dog, you become the one who shields them from fear. Dogs never forget who kept them safe. Their entire nervous system adapts around that memory. Fear is one of the strongest emotional forces in the animal brain, and safety is the antidote. So the person who consistently brings calm becomes irreplaceable. Dogs also choose their favorite person based on interaction style. If you engage with them at their level, literally kneeling, sitting on the floor, looking at them eye to eye, you signal trust. Eye-level communication tells them you're not overbearing or intimidating. It tells them you're connecting with them as a partner, not a commander. This deepens the bond tremendously. And the dogs who choose you often become your shadow, following you around because they associate your presence with that equal, comforting connection. Another surprising factor is your tone of voice. Not just what you say, but how you say it. If you speak in a warm, encouraging, melodic tone, dogs interpret that as affection. They don't understand words the way humans do. They understand emotional intention. They hear the rise and fall of your voice, the softness, the enthusiasm, the playfulness, and they record it like emotional music. Some dogs can even distinguish between different types of laughs, recognizing the one that means joy versus the one that means confusion or sarcasm. If you're the person whose voice consistently sounds like happiness to them, you become the emotional soundtrack of their life. And what's even more beautiful is that dogs choose based on who notices them the most. Not in a needy way, more in a quiet, understanding way. They watch who notices when they're uncomfortable, who sees when they're uncertain, who recognizes when they want affection or when they need space. When you pick up on those cues without being told, they feel incredibly connected to you. Being understood is one of the strongest attachment triggers in mammals, humans included. And dogs feel it deeply. When they realize you understand their unspoken signals, you become their favorite because communication feels effortless. Dogs also gravitate toward the person who gives them emotional meaning. People underestimate how existential dogs can be. They don't just bop around waiting for food and belly rubs. They seek purpose. And for many dogs, their favorite person gives them that purpose. When you ask them for tricks, when you praise them loudly, when you give them roles, like walking beside you, guarding the house, cuddling on command, or even silly little tasks, they feel needed. Feeling needed builds attachment. You become the person who gives them identity, not just affection. Then there's the way dogs store emotional memories tied to your absence. When you leave the house, they memorize the exact way the door shuts. They memorize the sound of your car fading away. And more importantly, they memorize how good it feels when you come back. Reunion euphoria is a real physiological phenomenon in dogs. They get a rush of oxytocin every time you walk through the door. The longer the gap, the bigger the rush. Over time, this makes the person who leaves and returns consistently become the emotional center of their world. Absence doesn't weaken the bond, it intensifies it. Dogs are also incredibly loyal to people who respect their individuality. Every dog has a unique personality. Some are goofy, some are sensitive, some are independent, some are clingy. When you accept a dog as they are, not wishing they were more obedient, more outgoing, more calm, you create an environment where they feel accepted. Dogs gravitate toward the person who celebrates their little quirks, comforts their insecurities, and meets them where they are emotionally. Love without conditions makes a dog attach deeply. And the most heartwarming part? Once a dog chooses you, they rarely ever change their mind. Their loyalty is astonishingly stable. Even if they love the whole family, they'll always have that one person whose footsteps they listen for, whose voice softens their anxiety, whose presence feels like home. So if a dog has chosen you, understand something powerful. Your bond isn't just emotional, it's neurological, it's instinctive, it's biological, it's written into the deepest parts of their brain. You're not just someone they like. You're their safe place, their comfort zone, their family, their favorite heartbeat in the room. And honestly, that's one of the greatest compliments any living creature can give. It always starts the same way. The house is dark, the world is asleep, and just as your brain sinks into that perfect, dream-soaked part of the night, thud, then crash, then a sound that makes you question every decision you've ever made about letting a four-legged gremlin live rent-free in your home, you're not dreaming. Your cat is awake, very awake. And whatever's about to happen at 3 a.m. is absolutely, without question, about you. Sure, everyone jokes about cats being mysterious, nocturnal drama queens. People laugh about the zoomies like it's a universal law of nature. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Those weird, chaotic, slightly unhinged things your cat does in the middle of the night, they're not random. They're not pointless. And they're definitely not just about chasing invisible bugs. They're a language, a furry, chaotic, deeply personal language. And every single moment of it says something about your relationship. Think back to the last time it happened. Maybe it started with the faint pat, pat, pat of paws sprinting down the hallway like a stampede of tiny horses. Maybe it was a crash in the kitchen that sounded suspiciously like your favorite mug meeting its untimely end. Or maybe, worst of all, it was that chilling sensation of whiskers brushing your cheek and a pair of eyes staring into your soul like a furry, judgmental life coach. Whatever the form, one thing's certain, it always happens when you least expect it and when you're least prepared to deal with it. And that's not an accident. You see, your cat's ancestors didn't hunt at noon when the world was bright and predictable. They hunted in the twilight, dawn and dusk, when shadows stretched long and the odds were in their favor. Those instincts haven't gone anywhere. They're baked into every muscle, every whisker twitch, every perfectly timed pounce. So when your cat launches itself at your foot under the blanket, it's not being annoying, it's practicing. That twitchy little ball of fur is running survival drills from 1,000 generations ago. But here's the twist most people miss. In your living room, there's no gazelle to chase, no mouse to stalk. The prey isn't some imaginary target, it's connection. Your cat isn't hunting food, it's hunting you. All day long, your cat watches you. Every move, every sigh, every time you open the fridge. It knows your schedule better than you do. And as far as your cat's concerned, you're not just some person who provides food, you're the center of its entire universe. The problem? That universe is often busy. You're glued to screens, racing through errands, buried in work. And somewhere between the emails and the Netflix binges, your cat starts to feel invisible, so it waits. It waits until the lights are off and the house is still, until there's no competition for your attention. And then, when you're finally vulnerable and distraction-free, it stages its grand performance. The 3 a.m. sprint. The dramatic meow. The daring leap from shelf to sofa. You might think it's chaos, but from your cat's point of view, it's a love letter in motion. Hey, it's saying, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. It's funny, isn't it? We call cats aloof, independent, too cool for affection, and yet, when the world goes quiet, they break every stereotype just to remind you they care. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice something else. Their late-night behavior often mirrors you more than you think. When you're stressed, their antics get louder. When you're anxious, they become clingier. When you're calm and happy, they might just curl up quietly beside you. It's not coincidence, it's sensitivity. Cats are absurdly attuned to their humans. They read your moods like a book you didn't mean to leave open. They notice the way you breathe, the way you move, the way your energy shifts when life weighs heavy. And sometimes that 3 a.m. chaos isn't about them at all. It's about you. It's their way of saying, I know something's off. Let's fix it together. And then there's the strangest part of all, the protector side. Ask any longtime cat owner and they'll have a story. A cat waking them seconds before a panic attack, meowing until they move during a nightmare, nudging them awake when something in the room feels off. It's not magic, it's biology. Cats can sense changes in heart rate, breathing, and even subtle chemical shifts in our bodies. They know when something isn't right, and they act. Sure, it might feel like they're just jumping on your chest for no reason, but sometimes it's their version of saving the day. You'll also notice that your cat's nocturnal antics sync suspiciously well with your own habits. Go to bed late? Expect the chaos closer to dawn? Early sleeper? Prepare for the midnight Olympics? Cats build their lives around ours more than we realize, shifting their sleep cycles, feeding patterns and playtime, just to stay aligned with the rhythms of the strange, hairless roommate they adore. It's not them being stubborn. It's them trying to fit their world into yours. And if you've ever wondered, why me? Why does my cat pick me for these nightly shenanigans? The answer is beautifully simple. Because you're their person. You're the one they trust most. The one they feel safest with. And nighttime, when the world is quiet and your guard is down, is when that bond feels the strongest. Whether they're curling against your side or tearing through the house like a furry tornado, it's all part of the same story. I choose you. Some people think cats don't form deep attachments. Those people have never been woken up at 3 a.m. by a headbutt and a loud, unapologetic purr. Because underneath all the mystery and mayhem, that's what these rituals really are. A messy, chaotic, surprisingly tender form of love. Some nights it goes beyond just attention-seeking or routine. There's a deeper layer hiding under all that chaos. Because here's the strange truth. Your cat is often responding to you, to the things you don't even say out loud. Ever notice how the madness gets louder when you're stressed, or how they're weirdly gentle when you've had a rough day? That's not random. Cats are absurdly attuned to human emotion. They read your body language, your movements, even the way you breathe. If you've been anxious or distant, their 3 a.m. theatrics can suddenly go into overdrive, as if they're trying to snap you out of your own head. But when you're calm, Their approach might shift completely. Instead of tearing around the house like a furry tornado, they might simply curl up close, keeping silent watch. It's like they're saying, "I've got you. Go back to sleep." And sometimes it's more than emotional sensitivity. Sometimes it's instinct. There are endless stories of cats waking people up moments before a medical emergency, a seizure, a dip in blood sugar, even a fire. Scientists believe cats can detect subtle changes in breathing, heart rate, even scent. What looks like random pawing at your face might actually be your cat trying to get your attention before something's wrong. Sure, it's annoying to be jolted awake at 3 a.m., but sometimes that annoying little nudge is their way of protecting you. That's part of what makes these nightly rituals so fascinating. They're not just habits, they're deeply personal interactions shaped around you. Research shows that cats often build their daily rhythms around their humans. They adapt to your sleep schedule, your meal times, even your morning routine. They learn when you're most likely to engage with them and when you're most likely to ignore them. And they slot their antics into the gaps. If you're a night owl, the chaos might hit closer to dawn. If you're an early riser, it might happen before sunrise. Their internal clock isn't just ticking to nature's rhythm, it's syncing with yours. And this brings us to the most surprising part of all, that 3 a.m. madness isn't really madness at all. It's a mirror. It's your cat reflecting pieces of your own life back at you. They show you your routines, your energy, your emotional weather, all through a language that involves more sprinting and knocking things over than actual words. When you think about it like that, those late night antics stop being random chaos. They become something far more meaningful, a conversation, one you might never have realized you were part of. And because ultimately, this isn't about cats being quirky or dramatic, it's about connection. Underneath all the noise, your cat's message is simple. I want to be near you. They choose the stillness of night because that's when they can have you without competition. No emails, no phone calls, no distractions, just the two of you, even if one of you is half asleep and muttering into a pillow. There's something beautiful in that, even if it's wrapped in irritation. It's easy to get annoyed at the zoomies or the paw to the face wake-up calls. But what if you saw them differently? What if instead of seeing chaos, you saw an invitation? Because that's what it is. Your cat is inviting you to connect, to slow down, to step into their little world of play and curiosity, even if it's just for a minute, and maybe there's a lesson in that too. Life isn't supposed to run like clockwork. It's messy and unpredictable and often inconvenient, and so is love. Your cat's way of saying, "I care," might come wrapped in shattered picture frames or the sound of a ceramic mug rolling across the floor, but the message underneath is always the same. I'm here, with you, for you. So what do you do with that? You embrace it, you lean into it. Maybe you play with them a bit before bed, give them a chance to burn off that hunter energy. Maybe you hide a few treats for them to hunt overnight. Maybe when they climb onto your chest at 3 a.m. and purr like a tiny engine, you don't push them away right away. You let that small, strange, beautiful moment happen because one day you might miss it. And here's the best part. When you respond to those moments with patience and love, instead of frustration, the relationship shifts. They learn they don't need to shout to be heard. They feel safer, more connected, more at ease. And in return, you start noticing subtle changes in yourself too. You become more present, more in tune, more willing to laugh at the absurdity of it all. That's the real magic of living with a cat. They don't just change your home, they change you. So the next time you're jolted awake by tiny thunderous paws at 3 a.m., don't just see it as a nuisance. See it as a reminder that life is happening. Right now, in the quiet hours, in the messy, unpredictable, beautiful moments you might otherwise sleep through. Your cat doesn't want perfection. They don't care about your schedule or your alarms. They just want you fully present, even for a second, even in the dark. And maybe that's the real secret behind the 3 a.m. ritual. It's not about instincts or boredom or hunger. It's about love, the strange, stubborn, unspoken kind. The kind that purrs against your chest and looks into your soul without blinking. The kind that wakes you up not just from sleep, but from autopilot. So next time it happens, take a breath, smile, maybe even whisper something back. Because you're not just dealing with a house cat, you're sharing a life with a tiny, furry philosopher who, in their own bizarre way, is trying to teach you something. And hey, if that lesson has ever come crashing into your life at 3 a.m., I want to hear about it. Share your wildest late-night cat stories down below, the chaos, the cuddles, the moments that made you laugh or melt or question reality. And if you want more deep dives into the secret lives of the animals who share our homes and our hearts, make sure to subscribe before you go. There's always more to learn, more to laugh at, and more to love in this wonderfully weird bond we call pet companionship. Because if your cat's going to keep you awake at 3 a.m., you might as well make it worth staying up for.